Yes, yes. This is a culture. This is a lifestyle. I am so honored, and you should be honored too. We're here with Nicco Noire. Everything we say, everything we say is about between consenting adults. This is a lifestyle. This is a culture. Don't judge. Seriously,
Nick,
don't
I'm
judge.
putting
Like,
your
play
fucking
along.
song on my playlist.
Oh, you should. You
I'm
should.
totally going to. It's a fucking bop, right?
Oracle Lady J, also
Your
known as.
kinky friends. I like it.
We all should be thankful. Gratitude, and gratitude is the business we should be in, definitely. And I am very, very thankful, as you should be too, for the return of the magnificent, the legendary, the glorious Nicco Noire. Nicco Noire, welcome back
Hello,
to the Kicking
hello,
Friends.
hello. Oh, hello, hello. How are you? Hi, Nick. How are you, my love?
I missed you. We all missed you. We all missed you. But I gotta ask,
I missed you too.
what's inspiring you these days?
Oh my god. Oh, well, I had a new client actually just yesterday, and so I guess I'm retroing it. So I got to kick someone in the balls for an hour yesterday, and
Great hour?
it was no for an hour, like an hour straight. And you don't get people that are really into like serious ball busting very often. At least I don't. And by the way, just gonna throw this out there: if you enjoy being ball busted, and I mean ball busted, please come find me because I had a revelation. I mean, I've always known I liked ball busting, but I realized I really like ball busting. It is phenomenal, phenomenal. So, and I know, guys are like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about you kicking me in the balls, but I do. I do. I want to talk about me kicking you in the balls. It's so good. Anyway.
Well, let's talk about it. Okay. So you got 1 hour. 1 hour of ball busting. How do you fill an hour of ball busting? Because there's only 2 balls.
Oh no, there are only 2 balls. But here's what's amazing. So for anyone who doesn't know, I was a ballerina for many, 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 many years. So I can just kick and kick and kick and kick and kick and kick and kick like it's nobody's fucking business. And I do. And here's the thing: it's there's a cadence to it. You can't just like run in, with a running jump and like sideswipe them. But there's a cadence to it, and you have to take breaks and slow down and bring in ice, and it's fun.
Yeah. Now, many people are terrified of that. I'm terrified of that. Getting kicked in the balls.
I'm terrified of that if I had balls.
I mean, okay, the Chastity device. Seriously, with the Chastity device, I play with Chastity and stuff like that. We play.
Mm-hmm.
But getting the ring off, it's a metal ring. It's not one of
yeah.
See, here, what's cool about this, there's a clamp, so it goes under and you clamp it. So, but with a lot of the metal ones, there's a ring.
Hold on. Right? So, okay, hold up. I'm coming right back.
And you have to like squish the balls in. You have to be very.
So here's what I want to know.
Nice. And it hurts.
Who decided?
The whole day. Or at least
who decided that all of these? I mean, it's like. Pick a device, any device. Now, which one of these is preferable? I'm just curious because I fucking hate trying to put this around your balls and your cock. Like, no, go fuck yourself. If you're gonna come on with this shit, you better come over with it on. This one is better. This one's better because you can kind of like put the balls in and then it just, does one of those and you put the lock in. But whoever did this shit right here, hey, let's go ahead and make it as difficult as humanly possible to put on because you're probably in the dark, so you don't need to see. Yeah, just throwing that out there. That's my bitch for the day.
It is very frustrating.
I'm
The reason, and
frustrated.
I talked to the manufacturers too. I talked to the toy makers, and they say the reason they do that is because it falls off. And the body, the
Not if you put it
texture.
on correctly.
Yeah, I know, but it sneaks out of there. Cocks and penises, they're sneaky.
I do.
They they get it
I
right.
know.
All right.
I know cocks and penises. I know all of them. All of them.
Okay, so
That's my
you are a
Trump.
cook.
That's my Trump. What's that?
People don't know that you're a cook. You're a chef.
In a previous life, yes, I was. I was a chef. I was a chef for 15 years.
During my whole fiasco with the liver transplant, nutrition, I was like a slave to nutrition, and you were very helpful. You were very helpful because you're a vegan and a vegetarian. I had to change my diet, and you were very helpful in how to, just like this. You inspire food as well. You inspire how to cooking. That's like you inspire sex and inspire in the bedroom. You inspire.
I don't.
You did. You told me. I would text you all the things. I'd be like, I'm making salmon, but I don't want to do it this way. You do this. Boom. You had it done.
But it was so cute when you would do it because you were making. Oh shit! You were making dinner for Sunshine. I remember that. So, like,
even before that, when I was like sick. Yeah.
Well, no, and that before you knew Sunshine, I remember there was a period in there where you were trying to not eat as much meat, just because it was harder on your system. And I remember going through and you're like, I don't want to eat fucking tofu. I don't want to eat fucking tofu.
I love tofu.
You're gonna like tofu. You're gonna fucking love tofu. I'm gonna make tofu taste good.
I always did.
Yeah,
tofu. But yeah, you really gave you some recipes and some ways to cook it. So
yeah,
not just food though.
Yeah.
You love Depeche Mode. We did a show, and I gotta pimp that show out too. We did a show called Depeche Mode for Dungeons. Now,
yes,
okay.
January.
So you're being a cook. And this is a whimsical show. I'm a dream maker. I'm a muse, right? You are definitely a muse.
Thank you.
Let's dream, right? If you were gonna make a full course meal for Dave Gahan from Depeche Mode, what would it be?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I'm just gonna opt. Have you seen like the naked women and they eat the sushi off the body situation? Have you seen this? Like it's.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just gonna, offer myself as sacrifice and let David Gahan. And I don't. What does David Gahan want to eat? What does he want to eat? I will make it. I will smear it all over my body, and then he can just have at it. Fish and chips, that's fine. He's not a vegetarian. I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? I am. Ta-da! I swear to God, I would cook meat and let him eat it off of me. I do not give a fuck. And you know what? Vegans and vegetarians, you can come after me for it. I don't care. I said what I said.
I asked AI, what does Dave Gahan of Depeche Mode like to eat? And it says there's no publicity available on his reliable sources on Dave Gahan's specific food preferences and dietary habits.
Well, if I could suggest Nicco
AI doesn't
Noire,
mean anything.
That's what I think David Gahan would like to eat.
I highly suggest everybody please check out this show. This episode we did Depeche Mode for Dungeons.
It was a super fun show.
Oh my God. Yeah. Elvira.
Super fun show.
Elvira, Texas, and that whole crew down there. They're awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So people are asking the real questions, the hard questions. And I know we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But I want this to kind of be the definitive thing. Please take us through the process. How do you make
what am I taking to? Oh, a mangina. Well, I teach classes. I actually have taught many classes on making manginas at kink conventions, and when I was working in dungeons at some swingers parties. But to keep it YouTube friendly, basically, a mangina is taking the male genitalia and warping it into what looks like female genitalia. How do we do this, you ask? Well, it is not as simple as you think, because you basically have to take the penis and somehow, because it's usually hard, somehow have to wrap the scrotum and balls up around it. So basically, you now have the peach and, a beautiful peachy vagina look to it. Now the question is, how do we keep it like that once we have it in place? And of course, now you have to remember that the shaft is behind this. So it's kind of like, I need more hands. So anyway, peach shaft, right? So yeah, you got it. Anyway. Well, I've used staples, I've used needle and thread, I've used duct tape, I've used super glue. I have used big fishhook sutures. So really, the choice is yours, and it depends on you. It depends on whoever you're making the mangina on, because some people can tolerate that level of pain better than others, and each one of those is going to have a different sensation. So if you have a pain slut who's really into like the really sharp, piercy things, I would say go for the needle and thread. But if you're looking for someone who's mostly doing this for something aesthetic because they like the way they look with a peach, then I would say staple it or duct tape it or super glue it. That's going to be a lot less painful initially than, doing needle and thread.
Now, I don't like the stereotype at all. Kink, one kinky person, that means one kinky person, right?
Right.
Is there a types of person who like the mangina?
Yes, there is. So I have it is regular client. I see them fairly often, at least once a month, thereabouts. And they're older. They're actually in their mid to late 70s. And she's told me many times, had I been a younger person when the trans movement and LGBT, were really kind of in full fledged, she's like, I see myself as a trans woman. And so when I speak to her, I use her female name, and because I think it's something that she has longed for the majority of her life, and she's finally now able to at least come here and express herself. And so yeah, she's really into the aesthetics of it. She's fascinated by having a pussy, and I can't say I blame her. I mean, they're pretty amazing.
Now after it's done, you got the staples and you go through
so it depends, right? So okay, so for that client in particular, so then I dress her up, I do her makeup, and I send her out into the world as her full self. So she's responsible for pulling out her own staples and doing it. Right. So in the past, I have stapled her before, but she prefers that I use needle and thread. A, she is a pain slut. B, she likes the piercy, pokey feeling. And C, it's easier for her to get herself out of. Or I will make them use their new pussies, and I'll just Hitachi them.
Oh, yeah. Do they come inside?
Yes. Hi, yeah.
How
welcome
long?
to my existential nightmare.
Now, how long would you say is the safest to keep it? Like, how long do they keep the staples on? Do you have to tell them and say, no, you got to take those out?
Well, I mean, I would like to think that common sense would dictate how long to keep them in for, but because everything that I use is absolutely sterile, you could potentially leave it in, I would say up to 48 hours, but I would not leave anything in for longer than 48 hours, just for the pure and simple fact that A, I am not a doctor. I only play one on TV. B, if you're not, there's a lot of factors I think that come into that. One, it would be urination. That's going to get real messy. It's just there's all kinds of situations there. So yeah.
Now, please correct me if I'm wrong in my thought process,
Gladly.
but like you were mentioning, it reminds me of like the sissification narrative.
Mhm.
Whereas you can go two routes, and they mix up quite a bit. Like there's the degradation, humiliation route. You're a dirty slut. You're this. You're that. Or
Mhm.
wow, this is I'm helping you. That like very positive, kind of loving, romantic route. You know what I mean?
Right.
I could
Oh,
see
see, and
making manginas going both ways, being like you
totally,
being like I'm turning you to a fucking,
totally.
but also
Yeah,
like
you don't.
yeah,
I'm going to keep your penis, and now you have a pussy, which I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's an upgrade, but whatever.
yeah,
But I mean, so there's definitely it definitely can have a humiliation factor for sure. But I think that it is more empowering, and I think the aesthetic of it is really what is kind of like. I mean, it's pretty hardcore. Don't get me wrong, but I think the aesthetic of it for the client, like I think that is like where the wow factor comes in because you
yeah.
go through this whole process of like building this, build a new person kind of. And then to be able to have them finally stand up and turn around and see what you've created and hopefully help them, see themselves in a light that maybe they hadn't prior. Um, it's pretty powerful. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
I think it's that kind of shit that makes me feel like, you know what? Being a Dom is not just about, you know, the innuendo and the fetish and the this and the that. It's actually helping somebody process something that they didn't have a life to do. And so now in their later years, they're able to express this part of themselves and it's fucking freeing for them. And I like that.
It's helping someone process something. Yeah, definitely. I
You know?
better myself. Okay, let's move it along. This is a question. What's the most unexpected event you've ever gotten, and how do you handle it? Everything you do is unexpected. Like we're living in
Everything.
chaos, both of us. Everything we're
Yeah.
riding that chaos. So let's just reword the question. What's like an unexpected thing that happened to you recently, or unexpected
Okay. So
request?
a request. Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't get this request very often, but I had a Roman shower situation go down,
Wow.
and
Please,
those.
what it is.
So a Roman shower is basically where you vomit on somebody. It is very much a fetish. It falls under all the showers, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very specific. They had foods and they had liquids that they wanted me to get sick on them with. Um, I think I've only done like three other Roman shower sessions in my entire career. So I felt like this was like a super weird rarity. And it kind of is, but at the same time, I also didn't think the guy was going to come through. Because usually with really weird requests like this that are very specific, they have a specific food and this and that. They're usually very anal retentive to begin with, no pun intended. But I mean, you know, usually if it sounds kind of too good to be true, it usually is in my experience. But this dude fully fucking came through. And so it was kind of gnarly because I like drank almost like a half a gallon of almond milk to just like he wanted to see that's what his thing was. It was the visual of the white vomit.
Yeah.
It's just as disgusting as it sounds on this end, on that end. Like, I'm looking at my and I'm telling him the whole time, you're a fucking disgusting human being. Do you know that? Like, this is like, you want to know where the sidewalk ends? Motherfucker, it is
Mhm.
right here. Like, I'm going to puke on it. And you can lick it up. And then he
Now,
did.
I mean, the older we get, my
Oh,
I, that my body, like I'm really careful about what goes in and out of my body. With
oh yeah?
vomiting, there's acid, there's stomach acid
Mhm.
that comes up and stuff like that. And
Oh
you
yeah.
being very, very health conscious, you're a very health conscious person.
Damn.
So how do you like prepare for something like this? Like, is it when you get it?
Okay, so
Like,
So that's the thing, right? So half of me is thinking to myself, this dude is not. This isn't going to actually happen. This is just like he's jacking off on a situation, right? He's not even going to come through. So when he does come through and he confirms his appointment and everything, I realize, oh my god, I am going to have to ingest all kinds and like okay, so you want to hear this is where it gets like completely off the rails. So he also wanted me to eat a tuna fish sandwich. Well, I don't do that, right? So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And so then he was like, okay, well, then can you eat chickpeas?
Yeah, you don't eat tuna.
That's very specific, right? Chickpeas. So if I can't eat tuna, then eat chickpeas. Okay, well, here's the weirder thing. So when I threw the chickpeas up onto him with the stomach bile, I'm sorry, people at home, I know it's too much, but mixed with the stomach bile, it totally smelled like tuna.
Oh, God.
Bro! So
Wait,
he's done this before.
I forget. Do you? I know.
I don't.
You don't eat tuna, right? Yeah, I don't. You
Or mayonnaise or any of that shit. No.
So yeah.
But yeah, and I thought it was so weird. I'm like, you want me to eat a tuna fish sandwich? Like, are you fucking for real right now? A tuna fish sandwich? I'm not going to do that. Also, so you need to figure something else out. He goes, and he didn't even hesitate. He was like, "Can you eat chickpeas?" I'm like, I can. I mean, so he had a backup. He has done this before. I just want you all to let that sink in.
Garbanzo beans, also known as butt beans, and certain ways. So I do want to, before we get to the next question, I do want to just make sure that people can know how to find you. This is your website.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes, this is your website, nicconoire.com. And it's
absolutely
very cool. It's very cool.
Thank you.
Is it safe to say this? If subs, if you're looking for a sub, the best way to contact Nicco, I would suggest, is through the website, through the email.
100%.
Stuff gets lost, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right. And if you're impatient and you cannot wait for an email back, if you send me an email, if you scroll through my website, people, you will come across my actual number. Do me a solid. Text me. I'll get back to you almost immediately, probably. If you need instant communication. And if I don't, I will get back to you ASAP. That's going to be the fastest means of communication. But absolutely, if you need to send me an email, what have you, go to the website. You'll have all the information that you could possibly ever need.
Now, I want to talk about names. I'm starting this little segment. I started with Vivian and it went well. And it was really inspired by you, because we were talking about how Doms have names in their cell phones for their subs. And just for everybody.
I'll show you.
I'll show you. My ex-wife's phone number, which is blocked, is Cunt Nugget. Cunt Nugget. Yeah. I'm not proud of it, but it's not.
Hey,
someone else called it that.
We all go through a thing. We all live some life. You can call people whoever the fuck you want. It's fine. Yeah. Don't you even trip on it.
Well, we're going to talk about names for a little bit, but let's start out with names for subs. You were telling me, and without giving too much detail, but I'm sure if they're going to be mentioned now, I'm sure they're going to love it. You have funny names for your subs in your phone.
Yes, I do. So let's see. Starting it, I do. So starting with the A's. Let's see. There is. Oh God, I don't know if I could. There's Assumptive John. Assumptive John, Anita the Body, Basic Bob, Bill the Buttfucker. Let's see, CBT Gary, Cali Slave Jeff. Let's see, we have all kinds of Chris's. We have lovely, I don't know, Mistress Claudia.
Shout out to Mistress Claudia.
Cock Hungry.
Shout out to Mistress
Claudia. Cock Hungry Chris. Dropped out of college. Dropped out of college, Chris. Let's see. I mean, non-discretional Duct Tape Elijah, Dynamic
That was
Dave,
my favorite.
the Super Dick, Eric the Piss Gargler, Extreme Face Slapper Junie, half Asian J. Let's see. Hitomi Don't Know Me. Humper Jim.
Here, Nico, I
Let's-
swear this is poetry. You could literally get on a mic in like a beat poetry thing, and just you don't even have to like dress up. You could like go in like sweatpants and a t-shirt and just be like,
Be like
a poet, and just start. I'm gonna take myself out. Just keep on
Okay.
going.
I'm gonna beat Nick it. Are you ready? Nervous Brian, you know, that new focus dude. And then there's Neil before me. Before who? Before neighbor John. John? Of course, John. They're all Johns. But first, there's Michael, don't you know? And then there's Matt from Boston. Where from Boston? We'll never know. Loser Adam, and then Lunchtime Gabe. Maid William, and Matthew the Sage. Ta-ta. The name. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nico.
Thank you.
True
Thank
poet.
you.
Actually, see, that's a true poet, right? True poet. So we have names for subs.
Yes.
There's also toys. I have a toy. Shout out to Locked in Lust to get 15% off all inventory of Locked in Lust YKF. So we got this toy. It's called the Crotch Rocket, and
You were telling me about that.
Yeah. So it's like if I'm in Chastity, and Sunshine just wants to like ride me and use me all night long, over and over and over again, and he's my caged cock, and just take the train to Come Town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has a saddle to ride. And so we nicknamed this, instead of the Crotch Rocket, we nicknamed it the Saddle. We just like this way it sounds. It just sounds better.
I think I do too.
So, do you have any names for your toys?
Okay. Yes, I do. I have Big Black.
Okay.
I'll give you one guess. It's about this tall, which is about two and a half foot tall, and like that at the base maybe. But I had someone almost like ball it. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
I've got bowling. I have the strike, which is a bowling pin. Yeah, I've got stuff. Back there is the machine.
Oh, the machine.
The
Please
machine.
tell us about the machine.
I think the machine speaks for itself. I kept it far off in the distance, so it was just a blur. But leave it to your imagination, because I'm pretty sure, it does all the stuff and things, so I don't have to. So that way I can sit here in my chair and watch you in your face.
Who
Tell you about it.
Who seems to enjoy or not enjoy the machine the most? What kind of kinksters?
Okay, so if I'm putting someone on the machine, they've either been wonderful or they've been terrible. Either way, it's a mixed bag, right? Because it's remote control, so I can sit here across the room and Pinterest and control your asshole. So it works out for me. I mean, they're in a predicament, but
yeah,
isn't that what you all signed up for? A predicament.
That's true. It's very true. Very well said. Okay,
Thank
but then
you.
there's also names for moves. Do you have any certain names for moves? Like
I don't think so.
Like
okay. So when you're allowing a sub to or like if you're edging them or you're going to allow them to climax. So, instinctually, guys, they do this whole thing, right? Like the little, and I call it the little fuck dance because that's what it is. And I think it's adorable because usually they're, I've got them in bondage. I've got a hood on them. I've got them, they look insane. So when they start doing their little fuck dance, I think it's adorable. They look like little weird. They look like little wiggly worms on the ground. And
when you're making a mangina, do you have a name for it? Like the verb? Are you mangining somebody? Are you gining?
I would know.
You're gonna get gined. No. Get mangine.
No, then I usually at that point I've usually either named their pussy or they've named their pussy. I usually make them. I will have people pick out names either for themselves or their new pussies. And so once that happens, I kind of refer to the whole situation as that after that.
Now,
yeah.
Okay, back to the manginas. I'm thinking with this.
You are so obsessed with the manginas.
No, we have I got a text. Someone asked.
Sunshine.
Do you? No, it's not sunshine. Do you size people up? With this manginas, basically,
I size everyone up.
Meaning like if you're in a store or something like that, or if someone pisses you off. You've made a mangina out of people. So if someone makes you mad, you can make a mangina out of them. So does that give you a new perspective on how you view them? I could fucking make a mangina out of you. You better watch your step.
Well, I guess no. You know what? Personally, I don't. But this is really funny. So my best girlfriend in the entire world, Kim. What's up, girl? She lives in San Diego, and she is a total gym rat, and she's like practically like bodybuilder fitness model. Like she's fucking buff. She'll kick your ass. So anyhow, this chick, I'm like, she's like muscles and six pack, and like she's really built. And she calls me one day. She's like, this guy, and I was listening. I was overhearing him while I was in the gym, and all I thought to myself was, if I sent you over to Nicco, you wouldn't say those things. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you could literally pick that dude up and throw him out the fucking window. You don't need me. But I thought I was very flattered that she thought of me first, because as far as I'm concerned, I would have folded that guy up backwards.
Yeah, well, the thing is, AC, you have the fire. You have you're the person who will take it further, and the imagination, right? And the experience of doing brutal things. That experience comes in handy.
Well, and see, okay, so, and I think anyone who knows me will attest to this. Like, there is a reason I am a homebody. There's a reason I don't go out a lot. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's unfortunate or not, but this is who I am, right? So I have a no filter problem. I forget that I can't go out into the world. I can't go to Target, and when something happens, I can't turn around to some random stranger and go, "Can you believe that fucking coffee shit?" Jesus Christ, I would fuck that thing.
I would
dead.
love that. If I was at Target and I just saw you of all people and I didn't know you, and you just like, "Can you fucking believe that?" I'd be like, "I know, can you?" I'd be like, "I'm like."
I've been given the grace to live in a pretend world, and so when I go out into the real world, I really have to dial it down because I forget that there's actually a world outside of my world.
Yeah, I do. I do that too. You gotta watch what you say. And speaking of that, let's give some rapid fire kink advice.
Okay.
Yeah. Gonna get a little dark now. Let's go. This is an easy one. As you do that, it's a little dark now. You restrain someone, and their arm starts to go numb. What do you do?
Well, how long have they been there? How long has it been? What color is it? Is this something that they are we doing this on purpose, or is this a result of something that is it happening as a result of something else, and it wasn't the intention? So this is a loaded question, right? So first of all, you have to ask yourself, was I trying to, put pressure on the arms? Is there a reason that they're numb? If there is, then I would address it in a whole other situational way, because if, like for instance, like if I'm doing rope bondage with someone, if I have their arms tied, I'm waiting until they're purple. I'm waiting until they're well marked. I'm waiting until I know they're uncomfortable and I know they can't take it. Now, granted, this is all safe, sane, and consensual. I'm not going to do anything against anybody's will. If they tell me, red, I'm going to undo everything. But generally, if it's a situation where that is what they're looking for, that's usually what they're looking for. Now, on the other hand, if I have someone spread eagle on the cross and and I've had them up there for God knows how long, and their arm is just now completely numb, they can't feel it, and it's because there's no blood in it, that's another situation. And that's something, and that I think that's where communication comes in. I mean, I'm all for protocol with your subs and, speak when spoken to situation. But I do think that a sub should at any time be able to say, "Mistress, may I speak?" And and then yes, you can. Appropriate manners.
Yeah. Okay. A sub shows up high, like way too high. Like
They leave.
They leave.
I won't see him. I drove an hour. Well, what the fuck were you driving for, asshole? Like, I've had people show up drunk. I've had people show up coked out of their minds. I've had people pass out in my bathroom doing dope in my bathroom. And like, so here's the thing. I used to fuck around back in the day, many years ago. This is not my first time at the rodeo. I was a hardcore fucking addict. I was a hardcore fucking alcoholic. And, there is not... I'm well past it. And the thing is when you come to me intoxicated, your consent has already been removed because you are not aware of what you are saying, what you are doing, and that means I can't do my job. So you're out.
And do you get it? Like, because both of us have been through it, the war, so to speak, the war on drugs. We've shared a lot of.
I was the El Capitan.
Yeah, we got low. Let's put it that way. Doing that, and now then seeing the mistakes we've made, right? But survived, right? And and lived through, and then seeing kind of someone making those mistakes,
right?
Takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
When
people get I don't know.
I know exactly what you're saying. It definitely ruins drugs even more for me because at least there was a time when I could throw stuff on the ground. Sorry. At least there was a time that I could sit there and kind of romanticize and these fond memories of those days when I was fucked up on black and da 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 da. No, it ruins it for me because now I'm sitting there looking at these kids and they're all fucked up and I'm just like. Is that what I looked like? Because I feel like I looked so much like that wasn't my situation. But fact of the matter is, that was totally my situation. Yes, that is what I look like. And now my romantic memory of my youth of punk rock youth is now been shit on. It's not Sid and Nancy anymore. Now it's just shitty.
It's not. even some of our punk rock,
you know what I mean,
going iffy, right? So let's move it on here. A sub, one of your subs who's a good, who's loyal, nice.
The Norwegian.
They met someone online. Who fulfills every single checkbox, and maybe is I don't know, just something very enticing. In the end, they want to give all their money to them. What do you do?
And they should. Here's the thing. I will respect the time and attention that someone has given me, but if they want to direct their attention somewhere else, then they should. That's what they want to do. And if any of my subs, and I am saying this directly to you, you find that person, fucking take the money and run. I mean, run far, far away. Where I couldn't find you, but run because what you want does not exist except right here.
All right. What about a dom? Is talking about robbing somebody, either a sub, a bank, or doing something just something illegal, something that you're like you got,
Right.
a
Why do you
store,
have to be
maybe.
such a cowboy?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't first of all, I
Not
just
just
and
a
I
dom. It
can't
can't be another kinkster,
just
like another
right,
kinkster.
anybody. Like here's the thing. This is a counterculture, right? We are left of
Mhm.
center, very much so. And that doesn't that means, it's a social situation. So not everybody is going to be like, Boy Scout kink leader. There's gonna be people who are gonna rob the kink liquor store and break into the kinky house. So you have to remember that you are a representation of the people. You become the people. You become who you let surround you.
Yeah.
So the people that surround you become who you are. So just remember that
And
the
I
people you
I
choose to
would like
spend
to
your time
say
with.
this. I would like to say this, and thank you for bringing that up because your kinky friends, everything YKF, I have to say, I want to represent the kink community as decent people. We are
Oh yeah.
decent people. I
Mhm.
mean, we don't break laws. And the reason why we're talking about all of this is because we don't want to break laws. We want to do things legally, right?
No,
And
we are
we're
normal, average. We are your neighbors. We are your
good people.
coworkers. We are your uncle and your
You know what?
auntie.
We will change your tire in the middle of a storm sometimes. We'll pick you up, if you're on the side of the road, help you move.
We will
Who helps
send.
you move,
We
right?
will
Who
help.
helps
We'll
you move?
help you move. You're traveling across country and you're hard up. You can stay. You know what? No, seriously. And that's the thing. We are just. And I can. I'm glad you brought this up, Nick. Um, we we are just regular fucking people, right? We're just human beings, all of us. There is no, I mean, it's a level playing field for people, right?
No.
So we just happen to be the kinky ones,
We just
and
have to
and
just like to say
it doesn't make us criminals. It
I
doesn't
like
make
to say
us
we're
these
sexually
we're
enlightened people. That's what we are.
well we're curious.
Yes.
We're curious. We have questions, and sometimes the answers are not necessarily what you thought they were going to be.
So
But
then what if you get a
we're
sub comes in and then he's talking about killing a CEO of a major healthcare company.
what?
He's
I
trying
don't
to pull a
even.
Luigi Maggiano. He's
Oh,
trying to
I
pull
guess
one of
I was
those.
gonna say the next thing I was gonna say is, well, it depends on what he's the CEO of, and what are we talking here? What are we talking?
What is the CEO?
Like,
That's a
I
good
mean,
question.
do you need a ride? Like, what's going on? No,
That's a good one.
By the way, I do not condone anything that Luigi
You
did.
do not
Like,
condone murder.
I think murder does not beget murder, if that makes
Like I
any
said, we're
sense
good people.
whatsoever.
And this is
Right?
we're also role players. Kinky people are role
We're
play. Guess what? We're not really castrating people, right? It's role play. Castration is illegal. We can't, right? I mean, are we? I haven't castrated anyone. Let's just say that. Let's talk about travel. All right. How have different cultural attitudes, right? You've traveled all over. You
Yep.
tell me stories. Oh my God. I'm so jealous. And here I am. I remember like recovering from the liver transplant. You telling me, oh, I was in Germany and I was in
I lived in Germany for like 6 years.
and then you're talking about Baton Rouge and all like places that I only hear about in books and in movies and in music.
I
Like
had
that. And you're living it. So how has these different cultures and attitudes towards kink from around the world shaped your approach as a dominatrix?
Oh my God, that is such a rad and loaded question. All right. So I am so fortunate that I did get to live and work in Europe for for the first actually like first few real years of me being a dominant. So I got to learn from a bunch of different a bunch of different a massive amount of styles and kinks and really weird kinks. And trust me, Americans are as basic as they come. You want to get into some weird shit, some circus level weird shit? Go to Europe, go to Germany specifically. All of the shit rumors you hear, 100% true. I mean, here's the thing. It opened my eyes to so many types of domination, of kink, of long list. I mean, I got such a wide view of perspective of this scene. I saw some of the most hardcore scenes I've ever seen or participated in my life happened in Amsterdam. Some of the wildest, like just out and out circus level bullshit, people being suspended on meat hooks and the whole 9 yards. That was in Germany. And then, I come back here. I worked in New York. I literally electrocuted someone through their asshole. I learned how to do so many different things in so many different ways. And I absorbed it. I took it all in. And if I'm ever at a loss, which is far few and in between, I've got a lot to draw on. But I will say this, Europe's view of any sort of sex work is much more broad and realistic than anything America has to offer.
I'm glad
it's an actual profession.
I love this quote. I'm going to use it. I electrified someone through their asshole. That's poetry. It really is.
it was pretty. It was the first time I ever actually electrocuted someone's. Why can't I think of it right now? I'm having a fucking blonde moment.
Taint.
What's no up in like your
prostate.
Swear to God, I've done this before. It was one of the first times I'd ever milked someone through their prostate, and so they were completely soft, and anyway, fascinating. I was like, science, and then I went through a period of that's all I wanted to do, which I'm sure nobody minded terribly unless, you're afraid of electricity, which, whatever. But, it was amazing fascination, and it kind of set me off on a tangent and down another road that I never in a million years could have ever imagined that I would have been going down.
I love how you said about the Germany, you're like, about the porn, all that shit's true.
All that shit's true.
That's on that's a layered statement too. That's not.
Oh, and I mean every word of it. I mean every word of it. It is all profanity. True.
So, which brings laughter.
Yeah.
Laughter. What is the funniest and most unexpected moment you've had while working as a pro dom that made you laugh? So many. There's so many. You tell me all the time. We've known each other for years. Just first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay, so I feel like I have to, out of pure and utter respect, start with the Norwegian. The Norwegian is, so here's the thing, when you have these long-term clients, no matter what the situation might be or the dynamic is, you build a relationship and you have a concern, a caring, a love, or whatever for each other. And one of he is quite possibly the funniest, and he doesn't mean to be. He has a Minnesotan accent. So I want you to take that into consideration. Don't you know? Oh yeah,
Right?
you know.
Like very Fargo. Well,
Yeah,
Fargo's North
like
Dakota, but it's that whole kind
well,
of.
is that where it is? I mean, maybe I don't know. I've always
But
kind of thought it
it's
was
in that
like just
area. Yeah,
Midwest, I
they call
guess.
and shout out to Atmosphere Slug from Atmosphere. He calls it Minnesota.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's actually where
There's a
the
whole.
accent's from, but it's a Midwest thing, right?
Mhm.
And so everything he says is adorable, adorable, and I mean, it's funny. It's just he's just one of the funniest people in the entire world, and he is the most optimistic person in the least optimistic of times, and I mean that on so many levels. And I have to appreciate that. I have to appreciate that because I do not have that optimism. I have never had that optimism. I will never. It just
You're
does
a
not
goth
exist
kid.
within me.
You grew up. You were.
100%.
You grew up a goth kid. You know what I mean? Like me.
100%.
It's always nihilism. The world's always ending.
Right. I'm like.
The world's
Exactly.
always ending.
When falling in love is an act of rebellion, you're in 1984. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ah,
I don't know. I don't know why that's so funny to me. The world is always ending, and it means nothing. That's like
it
the
means
typical
nothing.
All right. So all right.
God is dead.
You know, we try to keep it lively, but like sometimes funny things happen. How do you, if it gets all too funny, do you?
How do you put your pants back on?
Yeah, like because you got to go into Nicco Noire mode, you know.
Right, like because and it's true. Like for instance, okay, I do. I have a good one. So I have a client. His name was Jay. Shout out Jay. Jay is a size whore and likes big giant things in his ass. Well, as a result of having big giant things in your ass, when you pull them out, there is a sound and a noise, and it's not like a Hershey squirt situation. It's kind of a
Really? Okay.
yes. It is a sleepy hollow moment, and I mean it because like so here's what's going on. So I'm literally taking my foot out of his ass, and so he's like exhaling because it's my entire foot to the heel, people, to the heel. I'm taking my foot out of his ass. And so he's exhaling. Well, as he's exhaling, his asshole is also exhaling. Everybody is having a moment. And because I'm like, oh my God, this is super intense. So I'm like, and Jay's like, he's having to like calm himself and like release. So he, up here is like, and then he's also having to like chill his like, asshole out because I'm pulling my foot out of it. And so his asshole's like, so we all were having a Zen moment. And it was pretty funny. And so I had to like snap out of it and be like, no, listen here. We're not having this headless horseman bullshit. So, and I had to snap out of it, but I had to use humor I had to use the humor of a funny moment to snap back into, dom mode, because it was one of those things that it's kind of hard to come back from. It's like, did we all just like have a Zen Buddha moment, me, you, and your ass? Just checking.
And that's like dungeon problems. I'm all about I'd be all part about being part of the solution, right? Not part of the problem in life. I do. I'm a corny motherfucker. I look into the mirror every morning. It's part of my ritual. I will get into rituals, but I do. I say like I'm part of the solution. I tell myself that I'm not. I want to.
I think if more people did that, Nick, we would have a better society in general. Because you know what? You're either one or the other, right?
Yeah.
You're either part of the.
When was the last time you had a dungeon problem? You know what I mean? And when I said like you had something, this is an educational show, right? So like there are other dungeons out there who might be thinking of the same thing. So I'm gonna let myself go so you could your beautiful background
so
speak. Yeah. When was the last time?
I have I have this dungeon that I'm in right now. This is in my house, so I'm at home. I work from home, and which is very convenient because it lends itself to people who are into like real domestic and kind of informal, um, uh, who are interested in kind of like the subservient maid errand boy situation. Having a whole house is really nice because it gives somebody something to clean. It gives and it gives more of that kind of real life feel. But then when you have fetishists, people who are really interested in neon boudoir and being put into a cage and experiencing the machine, um, it's nice to be able to have that. And the thing of it is, I guess I don't have so much dungeon issues as I have like dungeon mishaps. For instance, just the other day, I could not get my knots undone on my rope. In fact, where the fuck did it go? Anyhow, I couldn't get these knots done on my rope. And so at a certain point, like I can't fuck with it anymore, right? Like I can't, I've got to move on. And so I ended up having to take out scissors and cut my rope. And I think that for the client, it was probably, super hot. There, danger, scissors, whatever. But for me, internally, I was kind of embarrassed and a little pissed off because A, why can I not get my own knots out? And B, like, it's fucking expensive rope. But it is what it is and we move on, right? But so I guess that would be like my most recent um situation where I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Why can't I make this work? I tied it. I should be able to untie it, but for whatever reason I couldn't. So I fucked it off and cut the rope.
That reminds me. That like if anyone's playing, always have scissors handy. You had scissors.
100
scissors.
Yeah.
One, please, anybody playing with rope, always have scissors handy. It should be like a no brainer, but what's wrong with reminding everybody? You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of one of those things that when you start playing with rope, especially if you're, because I'm a professional dominatrix, right? So I'm pretty accustomed to using rope. But if you're just, the regular, lifestyle person and, play when you can, if you can and you start playing with rope, your brain isn't instantly going to say, do I have all of my safety stuff, in order to play with rope? So I guess you need to, like, when you take that pause in your play to decide, how you want to go about doing this, you want to start with, let me go get some scissors. You figure out how to, you figure out what you want to be tied up to or whatever. But,
speaking of rope, I plug how awesome you are in this show?
Oh, sure.
Yes, we did the YKF rope show.
That was such a fun show.
Blackfish, Nicco Noire, rope aficionado. Let me just shout out everybody.
Shout out to the Latex Cowboy.
Briska was amazing. Shout out to Mischief Manor, Mischief Shari, Mischief Manor, Catnip Boy, Briska, Sunshine. Sunshine was suspended, and also across the country, Nicco Noire. Oh my God, this is the coolest thing. The imagery of this thing is amazing.
Latex Cowboy came and threw it down.
By the Latex Cowboy, right? Yeah. It's two parters. We had to do the two parts. There's questions.
It was super fun.
It was so fun.
Look at it. Look at how good. I love her so much.
Oh, I love this.
That was a fun show. Let's do that again. Let's do that. So who was the female rope just guru, the beautiful blonde woman?
In our show?
Yeah, she was like an information hub. Yes.
Oh, Briska is.
Holy Jesus. So Briska is a big bad boss. I want Briska to tie me up.
Yeah, shout out to Briska.
Because I can take it, baby.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, so we go to the manor, and I feel like in a cross between a Wes Anderson film and a Stanley Kubrick film. The image, because of the imagery and because of the scene,
That would be
you see
such a
someone on a
good
cross,
show.
and then you see someone tied up in the suspension ring where you saw her tie up suspend Sunshine. I mean, I don't want to talk out of school, but let's just say her work is amazing, and
Her work is amazing, and her
and if you see her, if she's at a dungeon,
knowledge.
you should definitely take the time to just watch her work. Don't interrupt. Obviously, whatever you do.
She's busy. Right, but I would.
I see people.
She was a wealth of knowledge, and I mean, I'm so impressed.
Amazing. That's
very impressed
about having your kinky friends. So,
right.
All right, let's talk. I want to talk about something that's. Oh my God, where'd it go?
I don't know. Where'd it go?
Not figging with Ginger. We're not figging with Ginger, are we?
I've figged with Ginger, not recently, but I have many times. I went through a whole figging phase, actually.
I remember that we talked about it on the show. But AI and kink, right? AI and kink. How are you evolving with it?
So I have a whole site. I have a whole AI Nicco Noire site that I don't run it. It's I don't know what it is. It's literally, I think it's Nicco Noire AI. And it is completely fan based, and it's run by somebody, and it has been kind of cool and amazing. They put up really neat, cool shit. And they contacted me before they put it up and said, "Hey, look, this is something I do. I make, AI situations. Would it be okay if I made a page of you for you?" And I said, "Sure, go ahead." And so as soon as I did, and then the next thing you know, I had this. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Fucking A. And I can't help myself. And so basically, these are all kind of based off of real pictures that I've taken, and he's just taken them and put them into these otherworldly, contexts and situations. But yeah, super talented, awesome. Thank you very much, Mystery Man. I appreciate that. So how fucking cool, right?
How do you think AI has changed the adult industry?
Well, first of all, I think that, you really want to be sure you get some confirmation of who you're speaking with. Because I think there's a lot of catfishing out there. I think there's a lot of opportunity for you to possibly give money to not Nicco Noire. You think you're giving, putting down a deposit for a session to me, when really you're just, some dickhead who's using my imagery. I have a friend who is right as we speak. He is like creating me like my own AI avatar, and I don't know how I'm going to incorporate this, but I feel like having one is better than not having one at this juncture. And so it's kind of interesting. And I fortunately, I have I've had the very great opportunity to have had friends in the industry, in the video gaming and movie industries well before, CGI and all this shit kind of blew up. Shout out to Brad Allen. And
that picture you sent me for the banner, which is amazing.
Yeah. Right? You like that?
You are.
So that's a real picture that's just been AI-ified.
Yeah. So I took
crazy,
that
right?
Just to show.
Yeah.
I took that picture. I put it into Grok, which is which is X's AI thing, right? The reason I do this for that, because I want to show what the AI is thinking. I want to show what.
Oh my God! Does it know me?
No. Oh God, yeah. You're a character. You are a character. So I put
Good.
your yeah, right on. So I put your picture and I asked it. I did this live. I have no idea what I'm putting up. So we're in this together.
Okay.
Right?
I
And
like it. Let's do this.
I made that picture into a Victorian oil painting, and this is what comes up.
Oh my gosh. See, but isn't that crazy?
It's
Like, what is happening?
And the weird thing is about with
Ask
AI,
Grok
right?
who Nicco Noire is.
Oh yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious what it knows about me. What do they know? That's a funny thing. I haven't really looked myself up yet. I guess maybe I should. Maybe I don't want to know.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
I'm putting it. I gotta present it. Share screen.
It's like Nicco who?
Nicco Noire is a professional dominatrix, often referred to as the pantyhose princess or headmistress Nicco Noire. She has over a decade of experience in the BDSM and kink communities, specializing in a wide range of practices, including pantyhose domination, sissification, obedience training, ball busting, CBT, cock and ball torture, corporal punishment.
Yeah, get the glasses on.
Psychological and sensual sadism, hypnosis, financial domination, also known as FinDom, role play, tease and denial, foot and leg worship, maid trading, and more. And it goes on and goes on. It's pretty great.
That's amazing. Well,
oh, look here, check this out. She is also known for involvement in media, co-hosting the Your Kinky Friends podcast.
Yeah,
where she discusses topics related to the BDSM community. Yeah. Oh, no, delicious.
I love it.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. Well,
right on.
See, Nick, we're gonna leave something behind, whether we like it or not.
We're trying,
and it'll be kinky as fuck.
All right, we have to. This is for Stan. Alien roleplay. Have you done any alien roleplay? Any ovum depositors recently?
Sadly,
Nicco, and what planet are you from, Nicco?
Oh God, I don't know. But if and when I find the home, the mothership, I will let you know. I have not, unfortunately, had any sort of fun alien roleplay since that one dude who fucking ran out on me. I literally I looked so fucking cool, and homeboy forgot his lines of his own story.
You're very deep.
And like literally, he just folded his whole life up into a bag and left. He just didn't say anything, he just left. And I'm like, what just happened? I got eggs. I had eggs. I had all kinds of stuff. Jelly eggs.
That's an interesting point. There's just like that. I have a friend who I don't want to call this out, but like, let's just say she loves cross-dressers. She's a woman who loves cross-dressers. She likes sissies, and she's not a professional dom either. This is like gold finding someone like that, right?
Yeah, she's a unicorn.
She is
I keep telling you, I know exactly who you're speaking of, and I'm here to. I mean, I love her enthusiasm for the genuine, but girl,
she can get paid. Yeah, totally. I keep telling her I come from the school of cool, and they tell us to get paid, right?
Get paid, get money, get money.
Anyway, so the sissy came all the way there in the car,
right,
and then full on dressed up, wig, heels, garter stockings, and I'll say it again. I said every show, I'm locked and dressed under this suit and tie right now. Right? Mm-hmm. This
pictures it didn't happen.
This later. This person came all the way and then turned around and like wouldn't come out of the car and wouldn't even want her to go out to the car. It would be like couldn't find it. Like it was close but not close. You know what I mean? What do you do in that situation when they're right about at the tipping point and they're about to turn around? You don't want to be too forceful because then it's coercion, right? But you also want to be the person to inspire something good.
You want to push somebody's limits. You want to push somebody's limits. But maybe that's the limit. Because here's the thing. There's a difference between trans people and cross-dressers, obviously. And cross-dressers, they're in it for the imagery and the fantasy and the movie that they've made in their mind, the idea of themselves dressed in this way and the way that makes them feel. So to take that one step further and make it real and put it into the real world, that's taking a step that is no longer imaginary and fantasy. That's now something real. And so if you're putting yourself in a position where somebody could recognize you or know you, and you're not trying to put out to the world that you're a proud crossdresser, that you just enjoy doing this for, whatever reason, your own personal reasons, I think that's probably why they chose not to take it the step further into real life, because of the what if factor. And what if nothing happened at all and they had the best and it changed their life forever? Okay, well, what if they saw their boss there? So it's, and I guess it just falls into the situation of what is the goal of your fantasy? And how real do you want it to be? Do you want it to just stay behind closed doors, or is it something that you're comfortable taking out into, broad daylight? Because not every, I'll take money sluts and I'll have them take me and go buy me fucking $700 pair of shoes. And they love it because that's part of their fantasy. But I try to make them eat their Cobb salad under the table while I enjoy my meal in privacy. And all of a sudden they get very upset because it makes them look like what they want to be. That's the humiliation factor that they want. But you put that into real broad daylight, they don't want it anymore. They only want that part behind closed doors, but they want the being used for money part to be seen by everybody because they want people to know that they have money. It's very fucking weird. Yes, give me some. Anyone.
Yeah.
Nicco Noire, money sign Nicco Noire at Cash App.
I need a money slut. Please, money slut. Every show is the last. Honestly. You never, seriously, unless something's up, and anything can happen at any time. Seriously. And we're literally $1 away from this all ending. So we need your money. This is not tons of money. I don't drive around. I don't travel around the world in yachts. I'm not an oligarch.
I do.
I'm not as lucky. I'm coming off a liver transplant. I'm in New Jersey. You know what I mean? But I am living a life.
Speaking of which,
I have people I love. So, but what
I love that you're in love.
Do you think masks would change that? If does that? And first of all, you last time.
But okay,
you had an episode
so loaded.
Where you had a cat latex mask. So
yeah.
Do you think if that sissy came in through a mask, would that get the sissy through the door and eventually be comfortable and then throw his mask off?
But you're talking about through the door of the dungeon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes baby steps. I mean, I think you have to be patient with people. You can't make people do stuff. You can't. You can only bring them to the very edge. You can't push them off of it.
Of course. Yeah.
That's murder. So, I think that, you can let them, if that's their comfort level, be proud of them for bringing it that far. And then maybe next time push for just a little bit further. And I think that's kind of a dom, for me anyhow, as a dom, that's always my goal is let's take it, we don't have to go, 100 miles ahead of ourselves. We can just take it one step at a time. And with long-term clients, that's something that, you're always working towards if that's their goal. But if that's not their goal and they just want to be feminine for this experience. I think to ask them to push it that much further into a public setting is, that they have to do that on their own time. Because you have to admit, yeah.
In your last episode, you showed off a latex cat mask. Do you have any other masks?
Yeah.
Do you have masks? Do you put masks on your subs or anything like that? Is that a common thing, or is it?
Yeah, constantly. Here, hold on. I've got. Oop, shit. Let me break that real quick. I have a bunch. Right, I just washed them. Where are they? Over there. Yeah. So I just washed them. Let's see. This one is a full hood. This is like the robber mask. This one, I believe, is no eyes. So this one is like you can't see, but you can breathe if I want you to. I've got tons of masks. I've got yeah. I use masks a lot. Masks are really good for sensory deprivation and sensory, because you take away someone's sight, all of your other senses are now on, DEFCON fucking 5, right? So it makes sense. It makes touch so much more. Just lots of things. So I think it's and when you cover somebody's face, you're almost making them the shadow person, right? So they're no longer whoever they are. They're allowed to be completely immersed in nothing. So they are whoever you want them to be. They're the thing, they're a black hole, right? And so you can use them thusly. And I think that it also allows for me to kind of detach and dehumanize when people want me to do some really next level shit. Because I'm going to be honest with you, like, it is not as easy as you think to put a ladder of needles through somebody's cock. Like, it sounds like, yeah, that's no problem. It is not something. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. It's terrifying. I'm scared when I'm doing it, but I've done it so much now. It's not as intimidating. But I remember, like, it was something I feared. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather? Now, this is a would you rather game. You have to do one or the other, right?
Okay. I have to?
This session, yeah. You choose one or the other.
Can I call a friend?
Okay. Yeah. Why not? Well. I mean, think of it as a session. Like how you have to do one or the other in the session.
Okay.
Psychological or physical?
Both, but
of course, but
psychological. Psychological.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because I think that there is a lot of power in once I realized what I was actually capable of, and then it was my obligation. Did I want to use this for good or evil? So I just think there's a lot of power in that kind of control, that kind of domination.
Power.
Yeah, I want you to think about me 100% of the time, all the time, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Would you rather? Right. Let's say, you're for some reason you're like a sub and you're forced to be a dom and you have to choose one. I don't know. Whatever. My mind can't keep up with anything. So anyway, would you rather experiment with new kink or just do the standards if you had?
That's tough. I guess experiment.
It could be a new kink that you do not like.
Well, you know what? If it weren't for yesterday's kink, I would have no idea what the kink of today was. I mean, and here's the thing: like, I started my entire existence in kink started because of a piece of latex clothing, and it went from being a latex fetish model to 20 years now of being a hardcore pro dom, and um I've my wheelhouse has expanded so vastly, and if it weren't for trying something new, then I'd still be wearing latex, I guess, or that's all I would have ever done.
Now,
Which
okay,
I'm not knocking latex, by the way, because latex is still my jam.
of course. Now, would you rather, just your personal taste, you have two subs booked at the same time, or they want you at the same time. It's not your problem. It's not your admin problem. It's theirs. They both, they both asked you, you know,
See, you're asking me
a
impossible
detailed,
things because I
a
schedule
detailed.
my own appointments.
Hear me out. Hear me out. A
Okay.
detailed
Okay.
plan session or a spontaneous session. What would you rather?
Detailed plan session every time. Detailed plan session every time, and reason being is because that is where I live. My whole shit is about building your session, picking up on all of the little nuances, and I actually, believe it or not, listen to everything that you say to me, and I read all of the emails that you send. So when you're dropping details of things that you didn't even realize that you were talking, I've already taken them all in, and I'm plugging them into your session. And that's I think where I thrive in this, is because my whole thing is being that real life fantasy. And so the more detail I have, the more, the more it becomes everything that you have built it up to be.
All right. Would you rather sensory deprivation or sensory overload? Sensory deprivation would be blindfolds. Sensory deprivation, blindfolds, earplugs, whereas sensory overload would be, sensory overload, feathers, ice, hot wax, even music, stuff like that in session. So sensory deprivation versus sensory overload. Would you rather?
Let me think about this for a second. That's hard, right? I'm gonna say overload, because I'm gonna have to go back to like my whole junkie mentality, where if a little is good, a lot's probably better. So let's do a lot in excess, because fuck it. So yeah, I would probably go overboard with sensation, and yeah, I think that's where
That's great. Those are great.
You can take the girl. You can take the junkie. You can take the girl out the junkie, but never take the junkie out the girl, I guess.
We were talking about rituals. Now, I started watching these YouTube videos, started reading more about like the Shaolin monks and the Buddhist monks and stuff like that. And I started a ritual every morning. Water. As soon as I get up, water. Have a little bit of protein, even if it's just like peanut butter or something. I actually look into the mirror, and like I do this whole meditation thing. I don't phone, no. It's so tempting, but there's no phone, no television, nothing.
You are a fucking modern man.
Just for a couple minutes, just for 5 minutes. That's it. I'm jumping right on it. I'm jumping right on. Right as soon as I have this like moment where I'm like, okay, I'm centered, right? All right, and I
think it's good that you do that, though.
I tell myself,
you know what I mean?
I look in the mirror and I say, I'm a part of the solution. I'm not part of the problem. I'm a part of the solution.
And you are, and it's true.
And I go for a walk. I exercise, and it's not much. I'm like I said, I'm recovering, so it's just like a sit-ups, push-ups, and I eat, and I like, and then I blast music. Then I listen to the news, and I'm like, okay, I got to face the chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Do you have self-care rituals that you go through?
Totally.
Your life. You've lived such a beautiful life, and you look so fucking cool doing it. You're a beautiful, beautiful woman, Nicco Noire.
Thank you, Nick. You are so fucking biased. It's ridiculous.
I know, but this takes work and effort. This is not. It
does take work and effort. Yeah. I'm here to let you know.
Self-care rituals. What do you do to make yourself?
Okay, well, I don't drink and I don't do drugs. And by don't do drugs, I mean I don't stick anything in my arms. I don't fucking eat. I smoke herb. That's all I do. I'm California sober. Um, and I am, and that's perfectly
California
fine.
sober. I love that.
That's yeah. But I don't drink alcohol. I don't eat meat. I'm 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 a vegetarian, vegan. I so just that in and of itself, like you already don't want to go out to dinner with me. I've been hungry for 20 fucking years. And but that's by my choice. That is something that I've chosen for myself that I have but I had to learn to I had to adapt my life. Becoming a vegetarian and then a vegan was not a normal or natural path for me. It was something I had to do for my health. I got really sick, just like you, Nick. And so in my recovery, part of that was my body stopped accepting protein, animal protein specifically, as a source of nourishment, and my body would just reject it. So I had to learn how to feed myself again, and and it changed my entire life because I was a chef, and so basically it kind of took away everything I had ever known in the course of an evening, and I had to change my life, and it was really really hard trial and error bullshit.
It takes
So I mean,
time.
but I do have rituals.
Discipline.
I do a lot of yoga. I don't eat meat. I don't drink alcohol. I think that's probably the biggest thing. And I think that all of the years that I did do drugs, I probably pickled myself, and so I just kind of froze in time at some point. I
Oh,
might,
we have
yeah, I might be.
Nicco placing.
I'm like pickled forever. Like I don't
Nicco
I've never I
placing.
don't have any work done. I don't have any Botox. I don't have anything like that. I don't have anything nipped, tucked, or sucked. I have to exercise every single day. I have to make a conscious effort to I didn't used to, but I also was a ballerina for 20 years. So I had that metabolism. Well, I'm, something 6 years old, and my metabolism isn't that way anymore. So I actually have to work now, and I don't like it, but that's what we do because that's what we do.
Discipline makes things easier. It
Mm,
does. Now,
yes. which
what's
is
funny?
which is the hardest thing to obtain because you can have all of the tools, but if you don't know how to use them, what the fuck, and
Yeah.
knowing how to use them is that discipline, and putting them to practice constantly, and then forcing yourself to have the courage of your own conviction and be your own, um, you know, basically your judge, juror, and jailer.
Do you? So you have subs,
I
clients,
do.
subs. You have subs,
Yep,
and you have to discipline them.
I do.
Discipline makes your life easier when your subs are disciplined. How do you use discipline into your behavior modification? Let's put it that way.
Well, that's training, right? So I think that comes down to, okay. So there's a couple different ways. So you have people like the Norwegian, right? So I've been seeing him for years, pretty much at least monthly, sometimes more, sometimes less, but on average. And when he comes to see me, he sees me for a week at a time. So let's hone that in for a second. So he comes from he's in a different state, and he comes and he's here for an entire week. So he is, and he that's all I do for a week. So for 1 week out of the month, that's where I devote my time. Um, so he's had years of monthly training on what, how to behave. You know, I've learned him. So so that's the benefit of having a long-term client. But so then I have another client, Assumptive John, who's here in Texas, but in an entirely different part of Texas. And Texas, it takes 5.5 hours to drive across, so it's not as simple as you think to get from one place to the other. Um, he has made a point of he, I know he's made a point of serving me in ways of he likes to give me gifts, and I told him, I said, I need you to acknowledge me every single day. I want you to wake up and I want you to say hello to me every single day. And every single day, I get a good morning, mistress. And regardless of if I respond to him or this, that, and then I get these random things in the mail. And now here's the thing. I have had 2 sessions with him in life, in real life sessions, but the rest of the time I have not seen him. And it's been 3 years now. And I get a text from him every single morning and have for years. So I think that's where the training comes in, is you just, and that's also the devotion though too. It's a 2-parter. So I can only, I can train until I'm blue in the face, but unless they want to learn, so
Yeah.
that's, hey.
And we had some technical issues. Please excuse me, but thank you for your patience. Yeah. Discipline makes things easier. Okay.
Yeah.
We had disciplined subs to produce the show. That's what we need. We need money, people. So please give it to us. Thank you.
Yeah. You can find me on all pay sites.
Let me ask you this. So
Yes.
You're some great advice to people. I have a friend, a kinky friend, coming off a heartbreak, a little older than us, right? And good 20 years of some hardcore masochism, and now has, I guess, been enlightened, let's say, and is now going the dom route, right? So
they went from being a submissive to a dominant.
To a dominant, and they're loving it.
Somebody fucked up. Okay.
So what advice would you give them?
Mean it. I've built a business off of the backs of men. Mean it. Go all in. That's my advice. Go all in.
Mean it. Go all in. That's the quote. Go all in. Right on. Now, okay. Did anyone ever want to dress you up like a fairy princess?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it was purple and white, and it was a fucking nightmare, and I think it caught fire somewhere. I'm not sure.
Oh, Nicco. If you could, okay, let's say you are a princess and you had a magic wand, and you could change the misconceptions about being a professional dominatrix.
Yes. Wait, I have one. I've got a wand somewhere. Okay. All right. I'm changing misconceptions
of being a dominatrix with your magic wand.
Yes. Here we go.
Just one misconception. Just one. You have the power to make just one. That's all you have.
Oh, okay. The one misconception I would want to unfuck is we dominatrixes specifically are the only sex workers you will ever meet that do not have sex. So please stop propositioning me. Bling! So stop being assholes and asking how much more does it cost? How much more does it cost to fuck? Yo, that's not what we're doing here, bro. Yeah. That's not what we're doing here.
Thank you.
But you get an E for effort.
Yeah. And not an ecstasy E. You're like this.
No. I'm just saying. Yeah. Just know that it's not that it's offensive, because yes, I am 100% in the sex worker category. However, I am also in the 100% entertainment business, and I need to make that very clear. All squares are or rather backwards. All rectangles are squares, not all squares are rectangles. That's the mentality there.
What platforms are you on these days? You getting the most action in?
I'm on all of them. Come find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, please. And please, if you would go and follow that AI site, you guys. That is a totally fan driven run situation. And I think it's really fucking cool. And if you're a fan of me at all, please go and follow that because it's neat and it's a fan page. And I think it's awesome.
Food. You love food. If you could describe
love
your
food.
dominatrix persona as a meal, what would it be and why?
That is such a difficult question. Okay, I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm probably like I'm like an acai bowl. So I'm like cold and made of ice at the bottom, but there's layers to me. And they're all kind of fruity and fun, but it's not until you mix everything together that you get the full force of Nicco Noire.
Poetry.
I think
Love
that's where we're going with it today.
All right, rapid fire recommendations. They don't have to be kink related, but they sure are fun.
Let's do it.
Recommend a film.
Oh my gosh. Goat.
Oh, I have not seen that.
That's all I have to say. Just goat.
Goat. All right.
Goat.
What kind of movie is it? All right, that's all you have to say. All right, I'll definitely look that up.
Go find it. It's right up your alley, baby.
All right. Recommend a song.
I'm going to say anything by Depeche Mode, obviously. But if it is not Depeche Mode, you know what? I'm an old fucking lady, straight up. Like, I've been listening to a lot of, like, NWA and Arctic Monkeys. Like, that's where that's like that's where I'm at lately. Or Wu-Tang.
Well, you know, RZA likes Arctic Monkeys, supposedly.
Well,
I've
been listening
the Arctic Monkeys. You know what I love? I was listening to. I watched this movie called Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. I remember it came out. I saw it when it came out and everything like that. It's a beautiful. It's a poem of a movie. It's like it's relaxing. It's violent. It's silly too. It's such a beautiful movie. Yeah, but that's all produced by the RZA. It's his first soundtrack from the Wu-Tang Clan, and it has.
I'll check that out.
Song, yeah, Strange Eyes. There's Messing Man's on it. Old Dirty Bastards on it. A long time ago, I remember I interviewed Inspector Deck. He's great. All right, book. Recommend a book.
I'm gonna have to say 1984, just considering the current situation. I'd like to remind everybody just how scary it can be, because I feel like we're looking down the barrel of a gun. But that's neither here nor there. What do I know, Morty? Fucking nothing, I guess. I mean, are you not kind of tripped out? Like, sitting here like, okay, like, I wake up every day and I look around at just the political climate, and not just here in America, but like everywhere. It's really weird right now. It's very strange. I feel like it's got a whole fucked off negative vibe that I'm not into. I really wish that I don't know what needs to happen, but I just feel like we're living in really fucking weird times. You know what I mean? Like, I live in Texas. I'm armed, but like, I feel like I really need to be armed because I don't know. I feel like I'm on eggshells. And I feel I've felt like that for a minute now. Before Trump, I've just had that kind of undercurrent of uneasiness with the political climate. So go ahead and read 1984, people, and scare yourself at night.
I'd also suggest my book.
Yes.
Please read. People read. It's literally a medium that
totally
is going to be hard to kill, harder to kill than in a YouTube
way better ending than 1984. Way better.
Well,
it's kind of, and it's, yeah, you know.
Yeah, Okay.
I'm looking forward to your next book, though. Honestly,
I'm working on it.
I know that.
It's
Just
forming.
throwing it out there. I'm just making it real. The more I give it power, the more it happens.
Yes,
So
Mistress
I'm
Nicco.
just looking forward to the next book. Aren't we,
Yes,
Nicholas?
yes, Mistress Nicco. Okay, recommend a meal.
What's that?
Recommend a meal.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I have been on this crazy Indian food thing lately. So I am all about paneer and saag like dishes. I can't seem to make them and in enough ways and eat them with naan bread and go fuck yourself. It's so good. And so that I guess that's what I'm gonna recommend. And
I love
anything
naan.
like Greek.
Oh,
Oh my god. Dude,
yeah.
I have got to put you on to this. I must make it like once a week. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah.
I think who. Okay, well, I'm gonna get the fans involved. I'm
Okay.
done messing around.
Me
Who wants to
too.
dominate this cooking show? I think Nicco Noire and we should do a cooking show. First thing is risotto.
You've been
Give it a
talking about
shot.
this for years.
Let's do it. Let's schedule it. It's a summer, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Or even whatever. Let's make it happen. Stan Vladimir. Speaking of food, what's your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza by far and wide. Okay, so in actual real pizza, like back in the day when I would eat meat, sausage, mushroom, and onion all day long. New York style. I want to be able to fold it, greasy fucking yeah. But these days, I like anything with like cashew ricotta and tons of. I'm into Kalamata olives right now. I don't know. I like
Ooh,
Kalamata
okay.
olives, and I make everything fucking saag or palak or like everything has like an Indian vibe. Like this whole last 3 months, if you, I don't know. I'm on an it's my flavoritism currently. I'm
Shout out if
on Indian.
you come to New Jersey. Oh my God, you come to New Jersey.
October.
Edison and
October.
Island. Holy moly, you gotta get some Indian food there. Shout
You're
out
not
to
hearing me.
Okay,
I'm going to be in New York, which means I will be in New Jersey in October.
Let's get you set up at the Manor. We'll do a show.
I definitely support that, but I could give a single fuck. I would love to come see you straight away. And then we can go do whatever.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God.
But I'm just saying. So in October, I'm going to be out there. And so you know what? I don't have any problem once I'm done because I'm going out there to work. And so once that's over, I'm more than happy to spend a couple days in Jersey.
That would be wonderful. Oh, that would be wonderful.
I think so too.
So speaking of plans and speaking of imagination, let's say you had endless resources. I've asked you this many times before, but life changes, time changes, everything changes.
Everything changes. It's the one thing. It's the only constant.
The only constant in life is change.
This is true.
Endless resources anywhere in the world, anywhere, anyone. What would you do? What is your ultimate kinky fantasy?
Okay, so I have a couple. Imagine that. So I fell in love with San Francisco when I was, I moved out of my house when I was like 16 years old, and I moved to the Bay Area from Houston, and it changed my life forever. I went back to San Francisco for the first time during COVID, and it held every bit of good feeling and all of the things that I remember it being. It still was. And, people will say left and right, oh, San Francisco is full of homeless and this, that. It's always been, people. Get the fuck over it. Here's the thing. I love San Francisco. If I had endless resources, I think I would go and buy myself a beautiful Victorian, ridiculous old house that looked over something beautiful in San Francisco. I just love that city. And if it weren't for the fact that I was born and raised in Texas, and if it doesn't come with at least an acre, I don't want it. I would run to San Francisco and never look back. But I'm not. It is not. I mean, it would be very realistic for me to live there now, but at the same time, not realistic for me to live there now. It's just it's different time. But I love San Francisco, and if I had endless resources, I would buy an old Victorian painted lady, and I would eat cioppino and sushi, and because I would have had my stomach fixed, and but actually, there's nothing to be done with my stomach; it can't be fixed. But I'm just, this is my imaginary kinky fantasy, and trust me, that's the sexiest thing I can think of: seafood soup. Ugh.
Seafood soup. All right. You know what time it is. Word
I do.
association game. I'm gonna say
Okay.
we're almost done. I'm gonna say a word.
Okay.
The first word that comes to your head.
Okay.
Pegging.
What was it?
Pegging.
Dicks.
Staples. Staples. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't think of staples. I think of staples when you say staples. I would think of manginas. That's the first thing I think of. Staples.
Trust
what about
me,
murder fetish?
I care so much less about y'all's dicks than you think I do.
Yes. Oh, that episode. Oh, that episode was amazing. Thank you. Please, everybody, check out the "I Don't Care About Your Dick" episode.
I don't care about your dick.
That was, everybody came through. Oh, really? Everyone came through just to make sure that they don't care about your cock. It's great. Nope. Stan Vladimir has a very good question. How do you see the kink industry in 20 years?
Oh my gosh. I would like to see it completely, taxable and made safe. And I would like to see it become a part of our economy, a legitimate part of our economy. Because here's the thing, sex work is never going to go away. So if that's the case, let's legitimize it. Let's monetize it. Let's make it safe for both the sex workers and the consumers, and move forward in progress instead of taking steps back into the fucking past, like this whole Roe versus Wade bullshit that just recently went down. If ever I felt like I was less of a person, it was when I was stripped of my ability to make a decision for myself. So I'm hoping that will have changed in 20 years.
Well said. Well said. Everybody, please support Nicco Noire. Go to nicconoire.com. The best
Come
way.
Support me.
Yeah.
If you would like to, I book in real life sessions. I still am a completely working dom, and I would love to play with you. So if you would like to come play with me, please don't walk to my website and find my information and contact me, and we can make that happen. Yeah. So, or if you just want to give me money, go to any of the pay apps and type in Nicco Noire, I'll pop up.
All right. And finally, please complete the sentence. Life is
the best and worst thing I've ever done.
Life is the best and worst thing I've ever done. Wonderful. You're such a delight to talk to all the time. So many people were very excited from all around the world to that you were coming.
That's awesome. So thank you.
Thank you very, very.
Thank you for having me on your show. And also, just if anyone was wondering why I kind of just like disappeared, I had a bunch of life happen to me. My beloved grandmother, who basically raised me, passed away, and I went into a really deep funk and kind of just had to withdraw for a while and do me. And so I didn't want anyone to think that I just up and evaporated or that I abandoned my sweet Nick. That's just not the case. I just needed to take care of myself, and I think I'm feeling better.
You're shining. I mean, you're gorgeous. I mean, Yeah, that fire is burning bright. I see it. Nicco Noire, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. I love you.
I love you so much. Please, everybody out there, go to yourkinkyfriends.com. We need all the support we can get.
100%.
YKF. 10% off all inventory at lockedinlust.com with offer code YKF. Yeah, you can get this. These things. Wow. Magical. Squirt in seconds. Great. And yeah, read a book.
Can you please, folks, just so you know, when you're seen reading a book, you become 50% sexier immediately. Read a book.
That's a great quote. That's a great way to end it. Nicco Noire.
And it's 100% true. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Stay kinky, everybody, but most importantly, be cool, be kind, keep it open. Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great night.